Howdy, folks. It's the Creepy Kentuckian here with you.
And I'm Uncle Bill. Hi.
Hi, Uncle Bill. How are you? It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
It's been a while.
Please don't sing
What you been up
song.
to?
Never sing that song.
Been a while. Ding, 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 ding. He don't sing that song anymore. He's into country music, man.
So I'm curious, though, because I was thinking about this when I heard we were doing this. How long has it been since we've actually had him on the show?
He was on the very last episode of DEADPIT Radio, I believe. So that would have been about close to 5 years ago.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So surely
4.5 years.
He's got stuff to talk about now.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff to talk to Slippy about, but he is not here as of yet. He's busy working on some special features for the upcoming 4K remaster of Big Abner, and that's one I wasn't supposed to divulge that, but we'll talk about the Big Abner 4K disc coming up whenever he gets on here.
Is that ass in 3D and that? Oh.
Yeah, he says, you can see the head of my Peter in 3D and in 4K.
God, that'd be horrifying.
If you have one of them big projection screens, you can see a 10-foot long Peter.
Can you imagine if they ever remaster them old porns in like 4K? God, that'd be the scariest thing ever.
That's definitely coming, for sure.
Oh shit, I gotta get headphones. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, get you some headphones, buddy. You unprofessional son of a bitch.
Wait a minute. I'll be right back. He ain't here anyway.
Okay. Yeah, he's not here as of yet. How are you guys doing this evening? What's going on, Bradley Baker? Look at that. Is that Hello Kitty in the background there? What a damn pussy. You got a Hello Kitty. Look, what the hell else is that? I see a little dollhouse there. He plays with these little dollies. Jared Parker. Hi. How are you all? I'm good. How are you this evening, Jared? Joe Bob Tarhill. Big Abner. We have someone watching in the UK.
Oh boy, is it Dr. Blood?
It could be. I don't know. He's under a presumed name.
Son of a bitch.
Right, what'd you do now?
I'll get another set of headphones. It ain't gonna work. I'll be back. Ugh.
Greetings from the UK, sir. Colin, that I cannot confirm nor deny that. But no, I mean, that is not our interview with Amy Steele. That's not to say that I have not been talking with someone from Scream Factory about some possible interviews. Not sure if that's going to happen, but we'll keep you posted. But that Amy Steele interview is not ours. I will offer to send them our interview, and I would confirm that it's probably better than whatever one that she did with whoever, probably like Joe Lynch or somebody like that. But no, that's not our interview with Amy Steele on there, as far as I know.
Oh, Mom.
You got your nice pair of headphones. Them's Bluetooth.
Let's see if I can get this to work.
I'll be right back as well. I want to get me something to drink.
All right. Parrot, you son of a bitch. Parrot. Come on. Come on.
I'm back.
I got it.
Better than ever. It working?
Got a knack. Making things better.
Face facts.
Cause your opinion don't matter.
Something. My thoughts really clatter.
What the fuck?
We're so professional here at DEADPIT. I'd like to take this opportunity, though, to let's see here. Hang on a second. Everybody check out our website. It's at www.deadpit.com. It's scrolling down there because we're high-tech rednecks. We're Mayberry meets Star Trek.
God, that's a horrible reference.
No, it's not. It's Georgia Jones, man. Woo! That's the drink, baby. It beats the taste of Mountain Dew.
Oh, God.
So we do have a few things that we can mention on here. There's all kinds of ways horror fans can spend their money right now. And me and you were talking about this before we got on the show. The new Friday the 13th collector's edition box set is available for pre-order right now at Scream Factory's website for $159.99 for all 12 movies, 16 discs, baby. And we'll probably talk a little bit about it with Slippy, although I didn't know this. Slippy is not working on the set, so this is not one of the releases that he's doing, which he hinted at it. He hinted at it on those auctions or something, didn't he? I mean,
yeah, that's how I first even knew anything about it. Was I was on one of those auctions, and he somebody asked him, "Is there a Friday 13th box set coming out from Shout Factory?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." You know how he acts when he knows what you're talking about, but he wants to act. He can't say anything. Yeah, that's how he was acting. But I can't believe he's not working on it. Like, that would seem to be a no-brainer.
You would think, but yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of stuff to talk to Slippy about whenever he gets his ass in here. But the Friday the 13th.
What if he didn't show up, man? That'd be best.
Well, that would be bad. That would be bad after 4.5 years absence. The first mic check in 4.5 years with Michael Slipcase Felsher from the website that gave him his damn name, Slipcase. He's going to no-show. That's all right. It's all right, Slippy. But anyway,
you go rescue you fucking cats. That's what you do. You don't come around here and talk about horror. You rescue your cats.
Well, he's a big fan of playing with pussy and cocks and everything else. You know,
He is really
photos on his Facebook page. But yeah, it's been a while since we talked with Slippy. We got a lot of stuff to discuss. I brought props, Uncle Bill, because we go back a long way with the Slipster style, and that's okay. If he doesn't want to show up tonight, that's okay. We'll just cuss him out. But
he's going to no-show the innovators of radio violence. I don't think so.
No. But the Slipster style is, let's see, have I heard anything from him at all? No. So maybe he fell asleep. But
he's like, fuck him, guys.
Like, I ain't doing this shit. They're just going to get me on there and try to ask me about peanut butter solution and shit.
You know, that's I did.
Yeah, I did have a little bone to pick with Slippy. That peanut butter solution disc finally come out, and he didn't have anything to do with that.
Did you get that? Tell me you actually got that.
I've got the Canadian edition. The Canadian edition is superior because it's got both languages on there, and it's got the French artwork on the front of it. So,
I mean, you got the French artwork.
I may the French Canadian artwork. I may upgrade that at some points.
Does it have the Mountie on it? The Rougeau brothers.
The Mountie does do a commentary on it with Jacques and Raymond Rougeau both doing it. But the bad thing is it's in French, so I can't understand a damn thing they're saying except every once in a while say, French fry. Oh. This commentary is dedicated to the memory of Frenchy Martin.
And Dino Bravo. Let me say this, though. I've watched probably about 10 movies in UHD now. And surprisingly, I think the one that looks the best of all the ones that I've watched is the zombie one.
You got to be careful with them 4K movies, though, because I found this out early on. Not everything is going to look as great as you think, because I bought the second Star Wars movie. What the hell is the name of that?
Which you mean?
The Rise of Skywalker or something like that.
Oh,
Was that
the second of the new ones, yeah.
Yeah, that's a piece of shit, by the way, but it doesn't really look that good in 4K. Like, I was like, that just looks like a Blu-ray to me. And it's weird because you would think something like that would be. So a lot of them, I just look at the reviews now before I just blindly buy it, unless it's just the same. The Last Jedi. There you go.
Oh yeah,
that was it. That one did not look good in 4K. I don't know what the deal was, but
I've got the Jaws 4K one in there, and everybody's creaming their jeans about that. So I'm curious what that looks like.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it yet, but the price on that's really going down quite a bit now.
Yeah, it's like $17 to $19. And by the way, there's some that you can buy. Like I bought the Christine one for fucking $7. I don't know if it's worth shit, but it's $7. I mean, damn.
Yeah, the Christine one it's decent. I didn't have Christine on Blu-ray anyway, so and it's cheap enough as it is. So yeah. And the Halloween one is actually not too bad.
Yeah, the Halloween one was cheap too. I bought that one on it's either Walmart or it's something where it was dirt cheap too.
The 4K of A Quiet Place is really good too. I got it.
I thought Halloween looked pretty good. I mean, it didn't blow your pants off or anything, but it was pretty good. They just never. It don't matter who remasters that film; they can never get it right somehow or another. Like there's a certain way that movie was filmed, the cinematography in the movie that never seems to translate when they do that.
I'm trying to send Sleepy a message on here. It's showing him online, so he's not asleep. Let's see. Is this just too high technology for him? It shouldn't be. We're in Eastern Kentucky.
He does all kinds of shit.
I know we're one of the stream lords, but let's see. I'll send him a message on the DEADPIT Facebook. But yeah, Slippy's working on quite a bit over the last few years since we stopped talking to him. Maybe that's why he's mad.
Because we didn't talk to him for 5 years. You think that's it?
We don't care about you anymore, Sleepy.
Man, that's one thing I'll say. That there's so much shit coming out. There's no way anybody can keep up with all that. Like these companies are releasing.
I had to go on his website. If you go on redshirtpictures.com, it's got all of his projects and stuff on there, and he's been quite busy. So, but we're going to be talking about all that stuff later on tonight. If anybody has any other, let's see, we've got some people on here. Let's go through it. Last Jedi, thanks Joe Bob. Yeah, those Star Wars movies, man, like I just get those totally confused now. Like the Disney Star Wars.
The only one that I know, like, is The Force Awakens. I don't think I've watched either one of the other two. Come think of it.
Force Awakens is the best one. I mean, it's not that great either, but probably the best one. Let's see. Well, I'm glad to hear that Bradley. He's doing his Friday the 13th commentaries and bombastic reviews. There you go. Yeah, the Friday the 13th box set was in 4K. He's saying, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I still bought it.
Yeah, I did too. Just like about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. The 4K one, though, could you imagine how much the 4K one would cost if they were to do it in 4K?
I don't think they could do all of them in 4K like that because it'd be like $500 or something.
Well, also it would involve remastering all those in 4K. I think that there were like the first 4 movies. They had said that they did new 4K remasters on those, and there's a 2K remaster on. Is it Jason Goes to Hell? You guys can.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it would
never.
be
I don't think it's ever
awesome.
been remastered, really.
Yeah, and especially the uncut version. I think the uncut version was only on DVD before. So when the box set came out, like when was it? That first box set came out. Was it about 8 years ago? 7, 8 years ago, something like that.
I couldn't even tell you, man. Like I've got all those different box sets, but like the DVD one and the fucking Blu-ray one that came in the tin, and then the Blu-ray one that came in the little box. I don't know. You lose count after a while.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way though. Like, but when I saw that packaging and just the treatment they're giving that, there's no way I wasn't going to get that.
Who knows though? With the a lot of them have new 4Ks, like you said. Maybe it'll look markedly better. I doubt it, but
yeah, one franchise that is another one that's in bad need of treatment like that, and the people don't really. I don't know why it's not really brought up that much. Is the Nightmare on Elm Street, the series? So not the TV series, but the whole franchise is what I mean. The TV series will never come out. Evidently, it would have already been out by now, I would think.
It seems like that one's not really considered a slasher, so it doesn't really get like lumped in with all the other ones that everybody always talks about, like the series like that, like Halloween and even like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like it's just not considered the same type of movie. Those movies are endlessly released, and they always have like a fan base, and the fan base always buys like whatever release. Something else I've noticed about Nightmare on Elm Street. You ever notice that series has more female fans than any other series?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, I can't really pinpoint exactly why that is. Maybe because Freddy's more of like he's throwing out the one-liners, and he's more of like a playful kind of killer.
Yeah, I don't know if it's less threatening or more entertaining. I don't know what the deal is.
I don't know either. I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, I think Elm Street, they only have like Warner Brothers came out with a very basic box set of that. Do you even have that? I think I have it in there, but there's really nothing to it. I think there's like 2 movies on each disc.
Is it the one that comes in just like the regular? I've got one in there that comes in like a regular like slipcase almost, that has all of them like stacked on top of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the same one. And it has just a crazy generic cover.
Yeah, it's just
not
him
really
like slicing through the front of it or something.
Yeah, there's not much to it. I just think like they did a killer DVD set for that back when DVDs first came out, but that was it. Like that to me, that would be one that would maybe that's next on Scream Factory's list.
I'm sure they'll probably try to do that. I like how all the shit that they do like that immediately goes like out of print. Like all those box sets that they've done like that.
Well, they did initially the limited edition that they did for the Friday the 13th set was, and I don't know who thought this would be a good number. It's like 1,300 like copies.
Well, it makes sense.
Like, you can't do. Yeah, I know, but I mean, you can't do that with Friday the 13th. These people are nuts when it comes to that sort of thing. So
probably would have
sold out.
Probably would have gone with 13,000 if they were going to try to do that.
13,000, yeah. I mean, they went from 1,300 to like 7,000, I think, because the 1,300 sold out in literally like 5 minutes, I think.
I could see it. Yeah, I mean, there's no other franchise that even comes close to being as popular as that is, though.
Right. A lot of them are resellers too, though. Like they probably had dollar signs in their eyes, like, oh shit, there's just 13. And the thing is with me, I mean, the Scream Factory crowd is so like crazy that you can buy these sets that have like the Candyman set had like the alternate slip cover and it had 2 posters with it and stuff. You can take that shit and sell it and get your money back for the whole thing that you paid for and keep the Blu-ray. So that's kind of what I do, because I don't have enough wall space to hang up the posters I've got, let alone buy more of them and keep them, you know.
There are certain companies too I've noticed since I recently got back into buying shit that their stuff pretty much immediately sells out and then goes for like double what it was on eBay. Scorpion Releasing is one of those companies. I noticed that. A lot of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, they have like limited edition covers. They'll immediately, it's like fucking Mondo. They'll immediately go on sale for twice.
Well, a lot of that stuff too, Scorpion and Vinegar Syndrome and all them, like their editions are limited to like 200 or something like with the slip cover or whatever. So it's kind of marketed towards that audience. And evidently, was it Vinegar Syndrome that did the Rad 4K?
Yeah, and it sold out immediately.
And did they ever say that was limited? I don't remember them ever saying that.
No, I just remember like, okay, it came up for sale. Then they went on like a vacation or something. And when they came back like a week later, it was like, oh, we sold all of them and it won't ever be back in print. Sorry. Fuck you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I probably would have bought it, but I didn't think it was limited. Or I would have, I had no idea.
Try to buy it now. Go on eBay. And
I don't think I'm that interested in it. No. I'm fine watching my bootleg version. But yeah, I mean, something that's sought after, you would think that they want to keep that out for a while. What the hell is that?
What? I can't hear shit with these headphones on. There's probably a child screaming somewhere in the distance.
I think it was your cat. It was Malcolm. What's his name?
Winston Malcolm.
That'd be a killer name for a cat, man.
It really would.
You get another one, you can name it Malcolm.
Malcolm. Get 3 cats, name them Malcolm, Jamal, and Warner.
No, just name it after Malcolm Young in tribute.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so let's see here. We'll just go through some questions, and we'll hopefully Sleepy will eventually wake up. Let's see. Rick Rage. Hellraiser 1 and 2 are 2 movies that truly need a 4K special edition. I think that's definitely the first Hellraiser will get one, and Hellraiser 2 is about equally as good as the first movie.
Plus, the way they're shot, that really would lend itself to 4K.
I think Reanimator would be a good one too.
It would. Just
the bright colors and stuff. It'd be pretty.
That sure would be pretty.
No, that was Malcolm Winston in the background. It's probably his kids too.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids running around in the background.
Let's see here. Still kicking myself for not picking the Arrow Hellraiser Scarlet box setup. That must have been another limited edition. What was in that box set?
I don't know, but how many box sets of Hellraiser they released? I've got one in there that's like probably 15 years old. And I know since then they probably released 5 different Hellraiser box sets. And somehow or another, it's like when they release Phantasm sets, they always have them in the spheres. They always try to release like the cube things with that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like with the Hellraiser movies, and this would be a good episode of Sequelitis, because after Hellraiser 3, you have no business watching any of them damn Hellraiser movies. The last one that I watched was was it the one Hellraiser Rebellion or something like that? Is that the name of with
Revelation?
It was the first one without Doug Bradley in it. It had the guy that was called. Okay.
Revelations or Revelation, one of the two. I don't know, but like I remember watching it, and I don't think I made it through the whole thing.
That was terrible. No, we watched it. Well, I bought it and we watched it and did a review on it, I think.
Well, there you go.
It's the same one that I'm thinking of.
There was another one, maybe two after that.
Bradley Taylor. Yeah, I was going to mention this too. The Friday the 13th set. The one movie that seems to be left out is Friday the 13th Part 2 as far as extras go. And fuck it. Okay. So, and I thought about that and I was like, you know, we have a really, and it's probably one of our favorite interviews that we ever did. We have a killer interview with Steve Dash that would be perfect. So I have Cliff on Facebook, one of the guys from, and I threw it out there. You know, it's like we have all kinds of interviews with Friday the 13th people, but he comes back today, and this is kind of, I don't understand this because he's passed away, but he said that for Paramount or Warner Brothers or whoever owns it, they have to have a talent release to use that. So unfortunately, where he's passed away, I guess it would have to be like, they'd have to go to the trouble to get like family to okay it or something like that. And they're probably just not going to do that. So I felt the same way about the Friday the 13th Part 2. There's not a whole lot. There's not a commentary on it at all. There's not a whole lot on it, period, on that one. So I thought that would have been a cool one to put on there.
I don't know how they decided like which disc to add new stuff to or not, but like, if I remember too, nothing's on Jason Takes Manhattan either. Like there's no new anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks too. But Jason Takes Manhattan is pretty universally shit upon as far as most of those movies go.
It's really the last of the classic ones, even though it's like probably only classic for the first, or yeah, for about the first hour or something like that. But like, it's really the last of that style.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, most of those extras really, you can only do so much. I mean, you did Crystal Lake Memories. It's big, like, how many hours was that? Like, it's crazy long. I remember that.
Yeah, I never could get through the whole thing. I mean, I did the first time, but I don't think I ever did after that. Like, it's on Shudder. It was on Shudder, I think.
What you could do, really, I mean, if they wanted to do this, they'd have to license that out or whatever. You can put that on there and just split it up into each disc, have, you know, because it's broke up into movies anyway. So, but I mean, there's not a whole lot more to really talk about with that franchise as far as, you know, commentaries and stuff like that goes.
One thing I did notice though, because I read the whole like press release, is that once you get towards the end, there's like bonus discs that are in there that they say like, you know, to be announced, more to be announced, like all this stuff. So apparently they're planning on releasing a shit ton more stuff they haven't even put on there yet.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's continue on here.
You ever get the feeling though that Felsher's not going to show up?
I'm kind of worried, to be honest, because I'm not getting a response at all.
Somebody check on Felsher if anybody's got his phone number.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was waiting on us to call him or what.
Maybe he probably is.
But I'll just text him. I can text him.
While you're doing that, I'm going to have to get a cord for this fucking thing. I swear to God, dude.
Good damn cord.
I'm going to. All right, good. I'll be right back.
All right, let's see here. Old School Gamer. I'll get to you in just a second. I want to try to find his. All right. Let's see. What's going on, CK and Uncle Bill? Quick question. Would you like to start collecting more movies on Blu-ray? I would like to start collecting more movies on Blu-ray. However, 4K Ultra HD now exists. Stick with Blu-ray or switch to 4K? I mean, that's kind of same thing that I was debating back in the day with DVD and Blu-ray. And I still, when it comes to certain movies, I think that they're fine on DVD. A lot of the Italian horror stuff, which I'm a big fan of, there's a few I would probably get in 4K. If the Beyond ever came out in 4K, I would probably get that. If they ever really did a proper remaster of City of the Living Dead, that'd be a cool one. But most of those other ones, man, I'm fine with those on DVD. So 4K, it would have, like, I'm fairly selective when it comes to 4K unless it's just crazy cheap, and I'll just get it. Also, what I've been doing too is if I've got, like, for example, the Fast and the Furious movies on Blu-ray in like all separate editions that take up like this much shelf space, I'll get the box set in 4K, and it's like that much. So, kind of what I do. So I mean, it's just kind of up to preference. Like, I'll stick with Blu-ray and 4K and support both of them, because at the end of the day, unless you have a TV that's 60 inches or more, you're really not going to notice that much of a difference between Blu-ray and 4K on most of these releases. And they're already talking about 8K coming out. Are you back?
I don't know if that's going to work or not.
Well,
this cord.
Is it raining outside where you're at? Or am I just hearing something?
It's not raining, I don't think.
He just takes me back, so he should be in momentarily.
Okay.
But anyway, we were being asked about, are you sticking with Blu-ray mainly and just being very selective with 4K, or how are you doing it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I only buy 4K movies like that if it's something that I absolutely love and know that, like, it'll benefit. For instance, like Suspiria, I bought that one because that's just one of those movies that you knew was going to look amazing in that format. And Jaws is another one. So I don't think I'd go out and just try to rebuy every or like a lot of horror movies in 4K because that'll run into some money. That shit's insanely expensive.
Yeah, I think it's smart.
By the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's smart to kind of be selective with it and look at reviews on them, because a lot of the time you're not going to be able to tell the difference.
But some of them you definitely can.
Well, okay, so the Blue Underground ones, Zombie's the one that I'm really like betting on that's going to look amazing. The other ones I'm not so sure on. Like, they've got New York Ripper coming out.
House by the Cemetery.
Yeah. I'm fine with those on. I've got House by the Cemetery on Blu-ray. And New York Ripper I've got on Blu-ray as well. I'm fine with that. Like, honestly, I'd probably been all right with those on DVD. At least House by the Cemetery's got some atmosphere to it. So, I mean, there is that.
Where's the Beyond in all this anyway? Like, did they release the 4K Beyond?
Who did release the Beyond? And no, is
Grindhouse releasing like wasn't that one of the last ones that released that?
I can't remember. The one that I've got is Arrow Video, but it's in the UK. It was the UK division of Arrow Video. We can ask Sleepy about that if he ever gets in here. Maybe he'll know. He's worked with Arrow a little bit. He's being fashionably late, baby.
I will say that I watched, because I had the 4K Blu-ray of Zombie, and then I watched that one, and probably like a week later I got the UHD one, and it's not even close. Like, it looks miles better.
Well, I can remember way back when they did Blue Underground did the first Blu-ray of Zombie, And that was one of the first Blu-rays that like blew everything out of the water. So that's the one where I'm kind of like debating on. I'm probably going to try to wait until the price goes down a little bit on it because I'm fine with waiting, but because right now it's like $40 or something. So
yeah, you can catch it on sale for like 30, but that's the cheapest. Well, $27.95 is the cheapest I've seen it. I've
not even seen it that cheap. Where was it that cheap at?
They had a Blue Underground sale on everything. It was on. I can't remember if it was Grindhouse Relate or not Grindhouse Video or Diabolic. One of those websites had just like a Blue Underground sale on all their Blu-rays and 4K shit that were coming out.
Let's see here. Piz Al's in the house. What's going on, Piz?
Hey, balls.
Y'all sit tight. Wet Movies in the house. We got some YouTube celebrities on here. Let's see. I'm going through some more questions here. Rick Rage was mentioning the Scarlet box set was 1, 2, and 3, and the unrated cut of 1. He's talking about that Hellraiser set.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, because the Hellraiser movies really go downhill after the third. The third one's not even that great either, but I remember at least halfway enjoying it.
I remember watching it on like HBO back when that was a thing, but that's all you had. Like you had HBO and Cinemax.
Let's see. Here's one for you, Uncle Bill. Do you plan to audition to be the host for season 2 of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix?
Tell me that you've watched those, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Steve did a review on them.
Oh, I didn't say that. They're amazing. I thought they were anyway. I mean, they need a narrator, but
right. That's what we were saying. Like we were trying to come up with, like he had mentioned, fucking what's his name from The Thing, Keith David, and I'd mentioned Sam Elliott. Those would be 2 good narrators.
That'd be a good one. Yeah,
but you can't have. I think you could do the narration, but you cannot have anybody on camera speaking, like trying to be Robert Stack. But he mentioned, I think Steve mentioned this, or somebody mentioned this when we were doing the show, that it would be perfect if you were doing the narration and you were in the trench coat walking, trying to act all creepy like Robert Stack. I was like, that'd be so awesome.
You think that would work?
Yeah, you could audition for it right here.
They could just have me, but it would be the voice of Morgan Freeman.
No, it'd be your voice too. You just try to sound like really.
I don't think that worked. These fellas went missing a long time ago, down by the Oakley Bridge.
Can you at least remember the number to dial that Robert Stack always said? Do that.
Oh God, no, I can't. 1-877-8787 or something. What the fuck do you have that up there for? 1-800-876-5353. Yep.
There you go.
I wish
so let's see here. Yeah, Wet Movies asking about the Friday set. We both purchased that. Bradley Taylor, his big thing is commentaries. He's asking, could DEADPIT do a commentary for part 2 or 3? Didn't we do a commentary for part 3? I don't think we did part 2.
Yeah, I think we did. I can remember vaguely doing that.
Yeah.
I know we didn't do anything for part 2. That always gets shit on.
All right, now he's saying, I'll be there in a minute.
They could have at least used us for like the interviews from part 5. Jesus Christ. Like we hyped that movie up for 10 fucking years.
I mean, I would do a commentary if, like, for part 2. But the thing is, and we cannot do commentaries like normal people do commentaries for discs and stuff. And I think that's why Paramount didn't use our Part 5 commentaries, because we just can't do that. Like we make fun of people too much. We did the falsetto voice quite a bit, and we were just, we were doing our thing because
it would never work. And you're right. Like they get sued or something. They probably know they get sued.
Yeah. Let's see here. Michael Rajpal. I'm thankful the show came out back in 2005 rather than now. You would probably last like 5 episodes. Do you agree? I don't know. I think now, like anymore, it's most of it's based on it's based on who you know in the business and stuff. Whereas back then, there was nothing out like that. So, whereas you have like Fangoria doing podcasts now and stuff like that. So the landscape is definitely way different.
I mean, it depends. Like, I don't think we could do a podcast now because nobody really does. It all has to be video based now anyway. So I don't think we'd last in that way. Plus, I don't think that there'd be like, what would we fucking review? I mean, we would have to just do a show about like old releases that got re-released.
Well, I think a lot of the downfall for our show back in the day was we were committed to doing all these reviews. Had we not had all those reviews it took a lot of time to watch that shit. And most of the time it was stuff that we did not want to watch. So
I think the worst thing, you're right. The worst thing we ever did was like review independent movies. Like either ones that were seen.
The amount of them too, we would do like 4 movies a week usually.
Yeah.
And these are not good. Even like Lionsgate would do, you remember all those little independent crappy horror movies that they'd come out with, and we'd get every daggone one. I think you got Lionsgate. You got like all kinds of Lionsgate stuff every week.
I did. So every now and then you get something like the Monster Squad, but you had to suffer through like friggin' 30 different movies that were made for like $100,000. Had Ryan Reynolds in them. I still remember that one. That was the biggest waste of my life. You remember the one where he's like in the box? He can't get out.
Yeah. Wasn't it called like Buried or something like that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll agree with Michael. I would say if we started the show new today in that style, whereas right now, I mean, we're kind of just we're doing like the COVID thing caused a lot of this stuff to happen the way it did. But I mean, we're just not really committed to doing everything on a regular schedule, just throwing stuff out there. And it's working a little bit right now. We got 65 people watching. They're waiting on Slippy.
This is what we do. We just build it up, keep waiting for people to show up.
And now, from Livonia, Michigan. Where's he from? Is he from Michigan?
I don't fucking know where he's from.
I'm going to have to ask him.
Is he from
Because when I do the introduction, we do the mic check next go around with Rump Shaker playing in the background. I'll do the introduction then.
I'm going to have to yet again find another fucking pair of headphones. These are beeping like they're going to go like dead.
How many damn headphones you got?
A lot. It's starting to drive me crazy though. So hopefully he gets here.
Okay. Well, use it without the headphones and just charge it or something until he gets here. Let's see. Yeah, I'd heard that about Pamela Springsteen. I'd never seen that movie, Fast Food, though. Eric Hansen says that we did commentaries for part 5, 8, and Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, I think that the part 8 one was the audio on that was not very good either. Like there was something going on with that one. We did. I'm almost positive we did one for the first Friday the 13th too. Holy shit! Hello.
Hello.
How are you this evening, sir?
Sorry, I overslept. I had an unexpected nap, and then I woke up and I'm like, "Fucking time is this?"
Well, that's what I told. That's what I told Aaron there. I said you must be passed out or something. You must have drunk too much.
Yeah, I was. I'm sorry, but I apologize. I hope it doesn't screw things up.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We just been bullshitting on here talking about the big announcement, which you don't have anything to do with. Is the Friday the 13th set? I made that clear.
Okay. Yeah, I know enough about it that I could talk something about it to a certain degree, but I'm not directly involved in it. That set's been a long, ongoing process.
I was at first. I was like, okay, if it's just Blu-ray, I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get it. But then I saw like everything that was on it, and the just the packaging and everything, and I bought it pretty much immediately. I think whenever they announced it, the site crashed or something, and because they'd limited how they go crazy about those posters and stuff, so they'd limited that to like 1,300, which is a crazy low number. That's what I was telling Uncle Bill. I was like, they're usually not. I don't remember them being that low, and it evidently instantly sold out. So they were like, okay, here's 7,000 more or whatever,
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it was also a situation where everything that's been going on, they're not sure how many people are going to buy. It's there's a lot of unknown factors going on at the moment in the marketplace just because of the events of the last several months. So, people aren't sure.
Yeah, it's pretty much changed everything. I mean, I was telling somebody it's made everything we enjoy in the world suck.
Yeah.
Everything. Uh-oh.
I see a reflection in a television screen. Is that all he is these days? Is just
he's lurking in the shadows.
Like a phantom figure.
He's like the what's his name? The singer in Tool that's backstage when he sings.
Yeah, he just
he's been going through headphones.
Where the fuck you been?
Yeah.
I completely overslept. It was one of those situations where I sat down on my couch, and next thing I know, it's 3 hours later, and I thought it was actually 9 o'clock in the morning the next day, and I'm just like, what?
Sleepy.
And then I was like, man, there was something I was supposed to be doing. What was I? And so it's just, I apologize for being late. It was not intentional.
How dare you? I've been in there trying to find headphones for the last hour.
You couldn't find your headphones?
No.
Are you going to go headphoneless? I mean, you sound okay, so.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to leave this on then.
There's not really any feedback or echo or anything, so we should be good.
No, it all sounds pretty good.
So how you doing?
Yeah.
Doing okay. Weathering the storm as much as anyone else is. It's been just the last 4 or 5 months have been something of an education, certainly. Trying to stay busy. Staying relatively busy, but it's been frustrating trying to get new interviews done during all of this. Most people, certainly publicists and managers, are kind of like, we don't want to do this right now. Talk to us some other time. And it's like, well, I don't know when some other time is going to be. So it's but at the same time, you can understand people not wanting to risk risk getting out there and into things because of the virus and all of that. So it's tricky. It's very, very tricky. But at the end of the day, still getting enough done that I can feel like I've been somewhat productive over the past few months. At the end of the day, and it didn't affect me as much as some other people because I do work from home. So I've a lot of my daily routine has not really been disrupted by this so much because, it's just like, okay, I go in my computer like I normally do. I, do all my other stuff like I kind of normally do. It's just trying to get stuff done remotely has been something of a challenge.
I remember watching one of your auctions, and somebody asked you about like video conferencing. You said you didn't want to do that, I think, right? Like that wasn't something.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with some of that video conferencing stuff is that the quality is just really unreliable. And you can, with some connections, it's fine. Others, it's just, you can't really, I don't know. I've been reluctant to really pursue that as an archival thing just because, like for right now, like for example, on this, you're Uncle Bill's coming through fine, whereas Wes is not so much. So it would be it's one of those situations where it's just a crapshoot if you can get a decent connection, and usually the audio's not very good. And I don't know. I've been reluctant to using Zoom and stuff like that to conduct interviews with, just because I don't know. It's just not a format that I'm very comfortable in terms of using it as something that's going to be on a disc permanently.
Yeah, I don't think the technology is there yet. For audio, it is. You're fine with audio, but when it comes to HD video and stuff actually looking good on a disc, it's not there. Maybe in 5 years or so it will be, but not yet.
It may be. And then the bandwidth just isn't there for a lot of people in terms of their internet connections and stuff like that. I mean, I have fiber optic here, and it still gives me problems. So, a lot of people I'm dealing with, I want to talk to someone in Bozeman, Montana. Well, I don't know what kind of internet connection they're going to have that isn't basically a hamster and a wheel with a crank on it. And it's like, okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to record.
That's kind of what I
have. We got Suddenlink in Eastern Kentucky, boys. It don't get any better than that. Top quality service.
It's a format that has its value, but I'm still a little reluctant with it. But we'll see what ends up happening.
So
yeah, go ahead.
I want to get started here on a couple things though. But I was looking at my shelf today, and I was like, I remember vividly. It was one of these conventions that we went to, like Horror Hound or something like that. The night of I think it was Saturday night, we were hunting down these discs. And it's funny that you were with us. Yeah, these were like sought after discs.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm looking at these, and I'm like,
how many Walmarts we went to? I don't remember how many it was, but we went from Walmart to Walmart, and we were going through those. Now that almost gives me like a nightmare to think of us just dumpster diving Walmart DVD bins. Yeah. God only knows what genetic soup we were going through.
We can't do it now.
Right.
Yeah, we wouldn't dream of doing that. I wouldn't dream of doing that now with a hazmat suit on. But I forget how many different Walmarts in the area that we drove to try to find those fucking things. And we weren't even successful, were we? Did we find any?
I don't think so.
I think we found. This was the big one. This was the one with waxwork and
yeah.
This is the one everyone was wanting, but I think the one that we had found a lot of had blood diner on it.
Right.
So, but the thing I was looking at though is I was looking through these and I was like, okay, that's Vestron, that's Vestron, that pretty much all these.
A lot of
which
so much.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever copies of those I had, I don't have anymore because it was like, we've done all the ones we're going to do on this. We've done all the ones we're going to do on this. And so, we picked those pretty clean, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the only one I can think of that didn't get anything, unless I'm just overlooking, it's Bride of Reanimator that's on one of these discs.
Well, Bride of Reanimator isn't there anymore. The rights to that aren't with Lionsgate. That's back with Brian Usna. And I think Arrow's released that already anyway, so.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Less changed since those days.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild because almost all of these, Sundown wasn't one.
We did a DVD of that. We haven't done a Blu-ray of that yet, but okay. That is over there, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of these, since we last talked to you, have come out and you've done extras for these. So it's been, it's been like 4.5 years, I think, since we had you on we haven't really done a show in that time really, but.
No, yeah. It's been, I think, 2016 sometime in there, maybe it was when we did it last. I can't.
Right.
When we brought up doing this again, it's like, oh yeah, we haven't done one of those since. Oh shit, when? A while. It's been a while.
Yeah, it was the last show. You were on our last show. That's what I was telling.
We decided to pick right in the middle of a national pandemic to do another one because Yeah.
I like
There'll be a
that.
lot of stuff coming out right now.
All right, it's time for the band to get back together. Great.
Yeah.
Everyone's fucking dying, but let's do that shit. That's awesome.
We're going to talk about Blu-rays.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, it's something you still enjoy. It is one thing you can still enjoy. So.
Right, and it's I mean, granted, it's getting to be 2 steps closer to The Last of Us out there, but it's we're still doing okay. So yeah, I mean, why not get into Blu-rays? Is as good a distraction as anything else, really.
True. I've got some of the Vestron titles that you worked on. Of course, I had to have like Blood Diner and stuff like that, but which were the ones like out of those that you remember that were actually like the most fun?
Oh, the Vestron titles for me that were the most fun. One was The Unholy, which is oddly enough because it's not one of my favorite movies that I've worked on, but I got to really interview people that talked a lot about the composer or one of the guys who was the writer. I think one of the writers and the producers had also done the original score for it that was rejected and thrown out at the last minute, and he still had his tapes of his score. So I was able to include that on the Blu-ray and the original ending, which the producer had. So that we got to really get into a lot of the, because that movie went through a lot of changes. And so that one was really satisfying for me. And the other one that was really, really great was Maximum Overdrive.
Oh, yeah.
I had a blast doing that because I got to go down to Wilmington for a week and a half and, see all the locations and talk to a lot of people that were down there, and got taken out to this location of a guy who was one of the construction people on the set, and it takes me way out into this, like in just the outskirts of Wilmington. It's this big wooded location. It's like a mile off the main road. We drive up and we get out of the car, and sitting there, just gathering dust in the woods, is one of the 3 Green Goblin heads just lying there. And I'm just like, well, I know what we're going to be using for the background of these interviews. And so it was just, getting to see stuff like that and meeting some of the model makers who still had some of the little cars that were on the bridge from the opening, like the little AC/DC van and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was a blast. That one for me was one of the best. One of my favorite DVD experiences of the past, I don't know, 7 or 8 years was the Maximum Overdrive. I really enjoyed doing that one a lot.
I actually got that one too, and it's an amazing version of the movie. It's also probably got one of the best artwork.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a situation where I've never liked any of the poster arts that have ever been done for that movie. I mean, the theatrical poster's cool, but it's not a DVD cover. And all the other ones have been okay. Even the one we did at Anchor Bay, I liked, which used the Italian artwork that was done for it, was good, but I was just like, so I told Lionsgate, I said, can we get custom artwork done for this? And they said, okay. And so I went to Justin Osborne and I said, look, I don't want a black, dark, like a night cover. I want something during the day, because a lot of the movies are during the day, and I want that Green Goblin face like right there in the center of it. And he came back with his artwork, and I was like, oh, okay, that's it. That's by far. And then my friend Mike, who used to be the head of graphics at Anchor Bay, I wanted that classic chrome logo. But if you ever looked at the old versions of the logo, it's weird. It comes, it's 3D, but it comes in from the side. And it was just like, why is it not coming straight from the center? So he had to redesign the whole logo based on the original, and he gave me that. So it was perfect. So when we put it all together, it was just like, oh yeah, this cover is dope.
Wasn't there a cover that just had like Stephen King, almost like a puppet or like a man?
Yeah, well, that was the theatrical poster. It's like the side of a truck that he's bursting through, and it's his head, and he's got like the little cross for the puppets to marionette, and that's the theatrical poster, and it's a good cover as a poster is concerned, but as a DVD cover, it just didn't make the impact I felt that it needed. So what Justin did is by far, I think, the best cover that movie's ever had. And he's done a couple. He did Dagon for us, and he just did Little Monsters, which is coming up finally.
That's a really cool cover too.
That's a hell of a segment.
We'll talk about that as well, definitely.
That's what I was going to say.
Little Monsters and Shivers were that's the longest gestation period for 2 projects I've ever had. because I actually finished up most of that stuff last year, and it's just been Lionsgate trying to get back because they had a lot of other stuff going on. There's been a lot of stuff, people moving around over there, and it was hard for them to focus to get those out. But they were really dedicated, especially my manager over there was really dedicated to getting those out, and now they're done, and thank God for that at least. So they're full. There's lots of good stuff on both those discs. So
it's funny too because like just the timing of all this. This was one movie that I'd found I think 3 months ago in a Goodwill, and it's kind of hard to come by. It's the original DVD of Little Monsters.
Oh yeah.
And this one just came out in standard like 4:3 aspect ratio as well. So what year did this one come out? It was released in 2004. So
yeah,
it's a crazy period. There's a few movies like that too that never had received proper treatment. And that one, I'm not sure how well that did at the box office, but I remember that was a very popular film when it came out on VHS and stuff.
Yeah, it was caught up in a weird thing. It was a Vestron Pictures movie originally, and it got caught up in their bankruptcy, and along with another movie like Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis, and so they both got sold off to MGM for like 30 years, something like that. And so the MGM brought those both out theatrically. Neither one made much of an impact, but they did very well on video. And then not too long ago, Little Monsters reverted back to Vestron, which is now Lionsgate. So that's why Lionsgate has it. And it was cool going through. We found all this stuff that was shot on the set that was never really used for anything. We had hours of it. It was, them on the sets and Howie getting made up, and Fred Savage being interviewed, Ben Savage, the director who's passed away about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And so we had all this great stuff, and Howie Mandel came out to do a brand new interview, it's the featurette on that is so entertaining. We got the producers, we got the makeup effects guy. I mean, we got all this great stuff, including back when they did the VHS, they did this little promo for 1989 Maurice, which has this really horrible late 80s rap song included on it. And I found that, and I said, well, I hope we can include this, and they let us use it. So we're actually, so it's 189 or 1989 Maurice, and
that was a big thing, in the late 80s, early 90s.
So we have that little thing on there, and so there's a lot of that. So Little Monsters ended up being great, and Shivers was great because we actually got a new commentary with David Cronenberg, and he doesn't do those very often anymore.
No. Well, Shivers is one of those movies too that had never. I think it was released right when DVD first came out.
Yeah,
never got a U.S. release after that, right?
Pardon me, I got a little bit of allergies. But no, we I think Arrow put it out in the UK, and that release got brought over here a little bit. But yeah, so this one is the best looking version of the movie that I've seen. They did some additional cleanup on a 4K restoration that was done not long ago, and it is the uncut version. So they're not going to have to go back and reissue it or anything like that. It's definitely the uncut version, and we've got the new commentary. There's two. The press release that went out was a little inaccurate. There's actually two commentaries on it. One with Cronenberg and one with the co-producer Don Carmody. And then there's interviews with David Cronenberg, Lynn Lowry. One with Joe Blasco, the special effects guy. We've got trailers and TV spots from They Came From Within version on there, and it's pretty loaded up. It's certain, but having a new commentary from Cronenberg, Chris Alexander put that together. He's really tight with Cronenberg. And
I mean, it was his first big movie, right? So I'm sure
that was his theatrical.
He's still really proud of that movie, I'm sure. So
he should be, yeah. But so yeah, we got and then the cover art on that was a little tricky because we were like, well, what do we do for this? And Lionsgate kind of rejected a couple ideas we had, and then I thought, well, what if we did a fresh take on the classic Shivers theatrical art, which is the girl in the bathtub, and we turned it over to an artist, Mark Schoenbach, and I said, here's kind of what I'm looking for, and then he came back with, well, I don't want to do it as a dark cover. I want to do it as more of a light, kind of a clinical feel. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. Then he showed it to me, and I went, oh yeah, you're right. That was the best. Fuck whatever I came up with. This is much better. So the version that he has out that he did ended up being this really cool freshening up and updating of the classic art, which I really like.
Yeah, the artwork on that is pretty amazing. Like it's kind of, I mean, it's new, but it kind of has that vintage,
classic
look to it.
That's what I wanted, and he gave it to me. And what I liked about that was that he really ran with an idea that he felt worked better, and he wasn't afraid to show that to me and say, this isn't exactly what you wanted, but what do you think of this? And I'm like, that's much better than what I thought. So, yeah, I'm still going to take credit for it. So whatever idea you come up with, I'm just going to say it was all me and I'm the fucking genius and you just did what I told you. So, except I just admitted that he did come up with it. So I kind of blew that. But well, anyway.
Yeah. I got to say, though, like never before have two movies together in a 2-pack been different. Like that would be like if they're like, "Hey, we're gonna release a 2-pack. It's The Untouchables and Mac and Me."
Right? Yeah.
What?
Like, yeah.
Because one of them
doing those together was a kind of a good idea because it's like, well, here's two different sides of the Vestron coin. You can get this sort of fun family comedy adventure, fantasy thing, and then Shivers. So it's like, okay. So that was an interesting. It wasn't really intended that it was going to be that way, but it's a good way. It's a good enough way to do it. Oddly enough, a lot of people want both anyway.
I was going to say, like both of them appeal to me. I mean, for different reasons.
Well, the price is pretty appealing too because they've cut the price in half on these. It looks like.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I wasn't privy to those discussions as to why that was done, but it certainly seems to have gone over very well, and. So I'm just happy that people are excited about them, and it's funny because the features were finally announced yesterday or the day before, and it was the same time when the Friday the 13th set got announced. So it was just like, all right, I hope someone's paying attention to this because I'm not with the Friday the 13th thing. It's like that's a pretty big goddamn deal. So we'll see how that all plays out.
Well, I don't know if the way that all came about because. All there's a bunch of new Scream Factory stuff that was announced that day too, but it was also there were pre-orders that were leaked. So I don't know if they were not planning on releasing that information that day or they just.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard. Lionsgate got some of that too because the Little Monsters Shiver stuff broke a little early too, because someone found a bare bones listing for them on Target.com. Who the hell shops on Target.com? And
fair point.
And then leaked the information. There was no cover art, no features, or nothing. And then suddenly everyone's like, "Oh my god, Little Monsters and Shivers!" And Lionsgate was just kind of like, "All right, I guess it's out." So it's like, we must do something. I don't know who's scouring Target.com for that. I don't know how that even happened.
Well, yeah, I would blame COVID, but there would been somebody anyway. If
there's always somebody.
Yeah,
always somebody
if we're not all stuck at home, so
right.
Before we get into Friday the 13th, which Wes was telling me that you actually did not work on that.
No.
Which, by the way, is a freaking, well, I won't say what I'm really thinking. It's a travesty of justice that you didn't work on this.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, there was people that the people that have been really working on that the most were like people like Peter Bracke and, people like that who are so steeped in that because of Crystal Lake Memories and all that. So it's like they didn't really need me. It was just kind of like, and I already have done, like the commentary I moderated on part 5 is still going to be on there, and a lot of the interviews and stuff that I shot were for Crystal Lake Memories. But it's just for me, it was like I don't know what I would have done that they couldn't have done because so much has already been done for these. So I think this was a matter of some new people bringing in some new perspectives, and then also. The having people like Peter on board, it's just like, what the hell do they need me to do? And also I had a whole bunch of stuff going on at the time.
Yeah, I mean the thing is too is like what could be asked that hasn't already been asked. That would be a very hard project to be a part of and have some new stories be told.
That was a tricky one because again, Crystal Lake Memories, as far as I'm concerned, it's like, well, what else is there to say? And then also but getting new commentaries done, also getting. I think what I like about this set is it's really been an effort to corral in everything that's ever been done to a large extent, and making sure that it's all present on this set, and then also doing new transfers of some of the movies and making sure that like the unrated Jason Goes to Hell is on there, and certain things that have been sort of missing from other sets for a lot of these different films. So I think that there's a lot of that, and it looks beautiful. I mean, I think the set just looks incredible. So that was a tricky one because again, so much has been done for the movies over several different iterations throughout the years. You want to bring in and make sure all of that's represented, plus add in new stuff for people who maybe didn't participate before, doing commentaries on some of the films that didn't have commentaries before. Mm-hmm. So it's tricky, but it's certainly going to be worthwhile. I know that much.
Now I know since you work. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I want to ask you because when I was reading the press release, there's like several different discs on there where it's talking about bonus material, and then it says like to be announced, basically, where they don't have all of the.
There's still stuff they're corralling together and putting together. This has been a long process. This has been worked on for. I'm surprised it stayed as much of a secret as it did because I think they've been working on this for over a year, trying to get all this stuff put together, and so the fact that it didn't really leak until just before. The big announcement is actually quite remarkable the way this day and age works. But yeah, there's still stuff they're starting to put together on this, and not everything has been announced. I know that much. So
we're gonna need a scoop. What is the stuff? Tell us now. Right now.
Scoop.
If I start talking, you're gonna start to see a little red dot appear like right here.
That's probably true.
Especially when it comes to Screen Factory stuff, they want to keep that shit on the down low. I've known that for a while.
They really do.
They want to be the scoop buster.
Yeah, they don't want shit going out there. And certainly, it's good in a way that I'm not involved because I'm not in a position to really say what's on there anyway. I mean, I know about a few things, but it's like, for what little fun I would have in telling you, I would get such a barrage of shit thrown at me about what so. All I can say is that there is more stuff to be announced, and even if there wasn't, it's still a set worth buying, no matter what. But there's still quite a bit that hasn't been talked about yet.
There's one particular film that's not getting enough love on the features that were announced. I don't know. Is there going to be some more stuff for Friday the 13th Part 2? Anything?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I definitely know that there was a focus on stuff for the first three. Because Part 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, Dan Farrens and Andrew Cash and those guys did a really good job getting a lot of stuff together for those when they came out on DVD a few years back. And then that stuff was ported over to Blu. So those were covered pretty well. The first three, especially 2 and 3, didn't get as much love. So there has definitely been, from my perspective, a focus on making sure 2 and 3 are covered as well.
I was kind of surprised that they're doing the 3D, like the Blu-ray 3D for Part 3, just because that format is almost like those the Blu-ray 3D movies are on clearance now, and they're not really making 3D TVs that much anymore. So that was kind of shocking.
There was a sort of a damned if you do, damned if you don't with that, because it's like people who have the 3D are going to want that for this, but if you don't do it, then people bitch. So it's like I'm glad they decided to do it because that way at least the people who really give a crap about it can still watch it the way they want to. 3D has always been a tricky thing for home video. That'll never stop. It's always going to be something that's very, very difficult to replicate.
It's kind of trendy thing too. Like it gets real popular and then it kind of goes away.
Well, that was there for a while. Every fucking thing was in 3D.
Yeah.
And they were post-converting all these movies, and then it just stopped being special. I
don't know. Like with those 3D, especially the DVDs that they released there for a period of time that were in 3D, what the heck? I couldn't tell any discernible difference in them other than it would give you a migraine to try to watch them in 3D.
Yeah, they didn't go over very well. And at the end of the day, it just stopped being special. So my guess is it might be another resurgence of it if and when Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 come out. Just because Avatar was the one that kind of kicked it all off to begin with.
Well, he's been working on them damn movies for like what, 15 years or something. Yeah.
So, it'd be interesting to see. Never count James Cameron out, though. It could be interesting to see what he comes up with for those.
So back to the Vestron stuff, though, there was maybe it was a year and a half, 2 years. Like a lot of people were thinking that they were kind of done with that label.
Yeah.
So, but you were saying that you worked on these two for quite a while before they came out. So this was.
Yeah. They were, because Maximum Overdrive came out near the end of 2018. And that was a big success. And then Little Monsters and Shivers were supposed to come very closely after that. But just because of a variety of factors which were beyond everyone's control, that they just kind of get put in like a temporary holding pattern. And then finally, oddly enough, I think because of the pandemic and because they needed to have some product, it was like, oh, well, we have these things. So, but the excitement back over the line has definitely rejuvenated some interest. And there are other titles that we're working on. There's other titles that are going to be part of this coming up. So these are not the least ones. Yeah.
Fido.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think Fido's in discussion at the moment, but there are other. There's a lot of other titles.
You can watch that on Pornhub.
There's one that we're actively working on right now, and then there's a possibility of a couple more right after that. So we'll see what ends up happening.
Cool. So there's one title that we've talked about on here, and I cannot figure this out.
Just one?
It came out, well, this one in particular for me. You probably got some more. Because this is a great movie, and it's got a shit US release that came out like 20 years ago. And it's come out in the UK, which I don't count that. The Hitcher. Who the hell owns The Hitcher in the US?
Oh, The Hitcher's been HBO has that here. That they still have that one. They have that one in perpetuity, and for some reason, no one can crack it. As to why it hasn't. I would love to see The Hitcher come back out. The Hitcher is a great movie, and and it's had a lot of features done for it over the years in other territories, but it's never gotten
right. And there was the remake that came out, and you would think, yeah, that'd be perfect just to release the original when that came out, but no.
No, nothing's transpired. I don't know why that is. It's a mystery to this day. I couldn't tell you. But I agree. It should totally be out.
That would be perfect for Scream Factory or Vestron or one of these companies. Yeah,
it'd be perfect for any company that would want to tackle that one. The Hitcher's great.
And I'd heard too. Maybe this is one of the reasons it's not. I guess the UK release, they couldn't find the original negative for the movie, so they had remastered or cleaned up a 35 millimeter print and did that for the Blu-ray. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that's what I'd read online.
I don't know. There was a French release that did some stuff too, I think, but it's been so long since whenever that happened, I can't even tell you. I don't know what the status of that is.
I wanted to ask you about something not necessarily related. I don't think that you worked on this. You could have worked on this. You may have worked on this like before it became a thing, but you got to be familiar with the new Dawn of the Dead giant box set 4K UHD.
Oh yeah.
I know you're huge on Romero, and rightfully so. I think we all are. I was curious, did you do anything for that, or was that stuff that they use that you'd already done, or
Well, they've certainly brought in everything that's ever been done pretty much before, and then it was actually spearheaded mostly by David Gregory over Severin Films. He was hired to do a lot of that stuff, and there's some really great features that are going to be on that. I did come in though and edited the mall featurette that they did, which is a tour of the mall with Tom Savini, Tom Dubensky, Michael Gornick, and Tasos Stavrakis. They literally walk around the mall and identify all the different spots. They go up on the roof. They go to the various locations, and they had a 3 or 4 camera team out there filming all this, and then I edited that. So that'll actually be on the set. I just delivered that not long ago, and that's a really cool feature. So I am involved a little bit. And then the commentary that I moderated way back when I was in Anchor Bay with the cast, that'll be on the Argento cut, and that box set's going to be pretty massive.
We waited a while. We waited a while for it because I sold my Anchor Bay Blu-ray thinking, oh fuck, they'll come out with these dumbasses paying $80 for a Blu-ray on eBay. I'm gonna sell it, and it's probably been I'm not kidding. That's probably been 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. This has been a long. Without going into all the crap that's been going on with that movie, it's been a long process. Needless to say, to see this finally come out. So when it finally comes out, grab it because it's.
Well, that's the thing too, because the 4K there's no region to that. So
right. So So grab it. It's going to be totally worth it. Believe me on that. I can.
And I've actually dusted my Blu-ray player off my all-region player so I can watch the extras.
Yeah,
I don't do that all.
Yeah, it'll. It's going to be. It's stacked. It's definitely stacked for sure.
Speaking of Dawn of the Dead, did I dream this, or did somebody associated with that movie not completely redo it into a 3D version at some point?
Yeah, that was a long process too, because I remember us hearing about that when I still worked at Anchor Bay, so that was back in 2004, 2005. Richard Rubenstein, the producer, had it post-converted into 3D, and it's screened a few times in 3D. I don't think that's coming out on home video, so yeah, it's available to screen in 3D, I think, theatrically. I've heard good things about it from people.
Was that the hold up for I had heard that he was trying to get that out on home video here in the U.S. Is that kind of the hold up why they don't have that one out again here in region 1?
I don't know about that. I don't know what the negotiations were involved in that, or if that was part of it or not. I don't know.
It's an interesting movie to go 3D with.
Yeah, I mean, again, but from what I've heard from people, that it's actually pretty effective at times. So, I haven't seen it myself, so I can't really speak to it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's part of the set, but it's certainly something that's screened theatrically. I know that much. The other big thing that I've worked on recently, and the announcement I think should be going out next week, is Tales from the Darkside, the movie, which I've done I can't really talk. I don't want to say what I've done yet because I want to save that for the announcement next week.
You want to survive?
Yeah, exactly. The little red dot comes up again, but that was a huge undertaking, and I did. It actually, in its own way, is going to actually end up topping what I did on Just Desserts, the Creepshow documentary. There was a lot of great participation for that. So when you see the announcement for, I'll be able to talk more about it when the announcement comes out. But Tales from the Darkside, the movie, ended up being a really big deal for me. That was something that I've been working on that for better portion of when was the first interview I shot for that? Was back in October of last year. So it's been a process, and it's really great. And I love that movie. So to see that finally come back out and be documented properly has been really great.
So it sounds like maybe a feature-length documentary on that one.
Look on his face. You're probably going to release it as a separate disc at some point.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. That's probably the closest we ever got to a real Creepshow 3, though. Like, I always thought that.
Yeah, always calls it Creepshow 3, but it's funny. Yeah. It was never intended to be a Creepshow 3. It was really, they had the Tales from the Darkside property, and they're like, let's make a movie with this. People want this, so let's give it a shot.
I mean, they made Creepshow 3, and it blew everything else out of the water anyway.
The Doodlesons they've got going on.
I don't think there's ever been a Creepshow 3. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it has actually kind of vanished. So they could do a real Creepshow 3.
I don't know what you're talking about. There is no Creepshow 3.
Yeah, it was that one that was much better than the first two. You remember that one?
That guy died. He choked on a hot dog.
What the fuck you're talking about?
The killer hot dog.
There is no Creepshow 3.
I suppose next you're going to tell me there's no Day of the Dead remake.
Move on.
There's like multiple Day of the Dead remake. There's a sequel to the Day of the Dead remake.
That's true. There is.
There's a quasi sequel, and then there's 2 remakes, and they all suck. So it's just
Well, you gotta be careful there because you're working with the Doodlesons now. Kinda, you did the Creepshow TV series set too, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was a big deal. That was something I worked on a lot. That's probably the most work I've ever done in the shortest amount of time, trying to pull all that together. That was all done over the course of just 4 or 5 weeks. all the stuff that was on that disc. But it was really rewarding, and that was one of my favorite releases I've gotten to work on. And then when they resume production on season 2, I'm actually going to be there to shoot all the behind the scenes stuff. I was actually ready to go. I mean, I got confirmation that was being brought on as part of the crew on Friday morning, and by Friday afternoon they had decided to cancel production because of COVID. So it was like, so I've just been kind of in a holding. We've all been in a kind of a holding pattern ever since April or whatever. And there's still no word when we're going to resume production, but it's gone. I mean, it's got to happen. It's just a matter of whenever the hell they figure out how to do it.
I mean, I actually caught all those episodes. I mean, there's definitely some that's better than others, but overall, I mean, it was pretty solid first season. You can tell it tried to keep with the spirit of the movie.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I mean, it's definitely, anthologies are always difficult because there's never, if you're not into the plot, if you're really into the plot of one episode, you're not going to have that again in the next one, and vice versa. So it's really on a story by story basis whether you're engaged by something or not. But I thought overall it was a really fun first season, and they've got some great stuff planned for the second one, and they're going to be able to do a lot more of the comic book stuff and really kind of delve into some, the first season was very successful, so they're pushing it even further with that in season 2.
I mean, like I said, the COVID thing, I think, kind of led to it being shown on AMC. And if no one knew, I mean, that fit. I'm like for the what is it, AMC Monster Fest or whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect to show it. I mean, to actually broadcast it on TV for the next season. I don't know if they're going to do that, but
the AMC broadcast was something that had been in the works for a while. But when it ended up happening, was kind of happened to be during a period where everyone was at home. So a lot of people saw it there, and so it got a lot more. And then the DVD and Blu-ray came out right at that same time, so it's done very, very well. And they're already talking about a third season. So I mean, they haven't even shot a second season yet. They're already talking about doing a third. So I
just think that it sucks timing wise though, because everything that's going on, that they may not get to film that for another year maybe or something,
we just don't know. We're all just sort of waiting around to see what the situation's going to be, because it's scary out there, because everything's flaring all up again. Things, it seemed to be getting a little better. It seemed like we were trying to, maybe we're going to start going down, but then it's all forward, so we'll go back when everyone's ready to go back. And I'm just, just kind of sitting here, just like waiting for the word. It's like waiting. It was like having a little red phone on your desk and you're just waiting for the call. It's like, ready? Yes, go. And then I'm out of here, but we'll see what ends up happening. But it's
I'm just looking in the chat here real quick. What the fuck? You remember this guy?
Yeah.
What?
Hydroponic. That's a blast from the past right there.
Howdy, ye Kentucky fucks.
Yeah, he's a charmer.
Slippy's not a Kentucky fuck. He's from Michigan. Are you from Michigan or North Carolina? I can't ever get this straight.
Well, originally I'm from Fullerton or La Mirada, California, but then I moved to North Carolina when I was 11, and I was there for 15 years, and then I've been in. Actually, it's funny. This month is my 20th year in Michigan. So I've been here for 20 years now. So I've lived here longer than anywhere else.
So you're from Michigan, pretty much. You just say that.
Yeah, I would say at this point.
So what is the deal with Michigan right now? I mean, in terms of like, are y'all locked down, quarantined? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Things here are. I mean, we restaurants and stuff are open to a certain degree, but I think a lot of it's, it's like everywhere else. I don't think we're flaring up as badly as some other areas are. Thankfully, because I think our governor's done a pretty good job of making sure that we at least do certain amount of social distancing and mask wearing. But it's not great here yet. It's not great really anywhere yet. But we're doing okay. It hasn't been. I can still get shit done around here to a large extent.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually been working from home since the end of March, and I'm about ready to fucking just go postal. I think we're finally coming back to the actual office next month, but it's been I'm not used to working from home, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you work in the mines, right? I mean, that's where you work.
Yeah, I'm just telling everybody what to do.
Yeah.
I
Just go down there and get that coal and whatever.
Get back down in that pit, son of a bitch.
Get down there. Get your hand, dirty boy.
Oh,
I always remember that one video. I think it was when the Monster Squad one, when the reveal for the DVD. You walk in going, "Well, another tough day at the mines."
They had like this helmet that barely fit my head.
Yeah, it's like you were the lead. You didn't look at all like a miner in any way. It was just like
that was the best shit. I forgot about that.
Oddly enough, though, the Monster Squad was the first big scoop that Slippy gave us back in the day.
Yeah, that was 2007, I think it was. So that's
probably the first time we ever had you on the show, actually.
Yeah, and I remember, because you were so excited about the Blu-ray that you like spooged all over it or whatever it was. I forget what it was. Right. It was gross or whatever the hell. But it was. It
was like hand lotion or something, just went everywhere.
Yeah, and I do remember just when you were walking. Well, that sure was another tough day at the mines.
I should have won an award for that.
Oh, it was good. It was really good.
We got questions here for people. If you want to send some in here,
okay.
We got a good one from Roland666. Ghoulies Go to College Blu-ray coming soon.
Could be a Vestron title. That could. That's one of the ones that's kind of on the list, but no official announcement or anything. But it's one that has come up. I will say that much.
And the Ghoulies, the franchise is kind of split with studios, right? So the first one and the
the first one, the first two are over at MGM, and then the third one's over at Vestron. I don't know where the fourth one is, but I don't think too many people care.
Slippy, you realize that we used to like joke about the shit that's now currently coming out on fucking Blu-ray, though. Like the peanut butter solution and fucking
you realize, that we actually live in a world now where there is a special edition of the peanut butter solution that's actually out there now.
Yes.
Is it? I think it's Vinegar Syndrome that's coming out with like a lot of this ridiculous shit that we never thought would come out on Blu-ray. Like Dolly Dearest is that on Blu-ray now? And
it is.
The shitty Amityville sequels are all out in a box set.
Oh yeah,
let me tell you what. What's weird about Vinegar Syndrome 2 is all the shit that they release, like stuff like that, is like got a 2K or 4K transfer on it. So you can get like Blood Games, which I have. I don't know why. And it's like a 2K transfer, like a remastering. Okay.
You know what? This movie just popped in my head. I don't know if it's probably out on DVD. Did you ever see the movie with I think it was an Australian movie called Fortress with
Christopher Lambert?
No, it's not that one. It's the one with Rachel Ward where she's like a
yes, the one that was before that. That's right.
Yeah. It's set in I think it's like in the early 80s. Did that one ever come out on Blu-ray?
I don't think so. I think that no, I don't know if it has. That's
a really good, like that's kind of underrated, the creepy, like the kidnappers had like president masks and shit on. I remember that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't really know much about that movie, to be perfectly honest with you. It's one of those Australian films from the mid 80s that I don't think I ever caught up with.
They used to play it on HBO all the time. That's where I'd seen it. So and I was like, yeah, that's kind of an underrated one. I don't think that it's out on. It may be out on DVD.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see here. You pick up anything in a Criterion sale?
I'm trying not to spend money on a lot of stuff right these days. I've got a lot of stuff as it is that I haven't watched, so I'm trying not to spend money. But I don't remember the last Criterion thing I even got. I don't buy as many discs as I used to, just because when I'm working on stuff, the last thing I have time to do is sit down and watch movies anymore. So it's just like.
Well, you could just buy them and watch them, and then sell them for more than you paid for them on those auctions you put out.
Yeah.
That's what I do. That's just me.
Yeah.
It's from Slippy's collection.
Yeah. But no, I didn't buy anything during that sale.
$50. Aaron watches those. I don't even watch them because I do not want to spend any money.
Right.
What?
Those auctions.
Oh yeah, yeah. I always go in with like really high hopes, and that one dude's in there that apparently
like one guy that buys everything, right?
I don't know what that guy does, but whatever he does, he makes a good living doing it.
Right. Yeah. I know who you're talking about, but yeah, there's certain people I can always count on to buy certain things. So I've done very well by him and a couple other people. So
we got a technical question here, and I really don't know this either, but you would know it. I'd say, isn't 4K the same resolution as 35 millimeter?
Well, you can still 35 millimeter. You can still pull a lot of detail out of 35 millimeter. I mean, they're doing 8K transfers now, out of some of that stuff. But at some point, it just becomes kind of how much more can we even discern,
right.
as a difference. Like for 16 millimeter, really going above 2K is kind of unnecessary because there's only so much detail you can get out of 16 millimeter. But you do 4K because it's kind of the industry standard. But with 35 millimeter, certainly there's still a little bit more you could pull out. But we're reaching the point now where it's like, I don't know how much more of a difference you would see in something above 4K.
Well, especially if you would have to have like 100-inch TV or something.
Oh,
probably.
God, you have to have a theater.
Yeah.
To really, at this point, to start noticing, and we've come so far, but there is quite a difference between 4K and Blu-ray, but it's not as dramatic a shift as there was from like DVD to VHS, or even DVD to Blu-ray. So with each one that comes up, it's a little more like, okay, this looks great, but I'm not getting quite as much of a wow factor necessarily as I was from another format jump a few years ago. But it's still it's a process. It's an ongoing process.
Eric Sanchez, who owns the Trick or Treat rights with Gene Simmons and Ozzy? Yeah, I mean that's one that would be perfect for Screen Factory. Could you imagine the limited edition poster art for that?
Oh, I would love to do Trick or Treat. A lot of people would love to do Trick or Treat, but that one's got just some weird rights issues which continue to plague it to this day. But
is it the soundtrack too? Like one band did pretty much the whole soundtrack, I think, right?
Yeah, Fastway. It was a band called Fastway, which was actually made up of a couple of people from a couple other bands, one of which just passed away not too long ago, actually. So yeah, Trick or Treat's a little bit. We're getting a little closer on that one, but it's still kind of a. It's again that one's it's a process with that one.
So that won't be out in 6 months. Mark that down.
Yeah, right.
Well,
no, I could get.
That's when you have to come out with that, Mike.
It's not going to be out 6 months from now.
Yeah, I mean you don't release that in spring. You've got to release it in the fall.
Yeah. So no, that's I see. Can you say if the Romero commentary is ported over from the DVD on Tales from the Dark Side? Yes, it is. Everything that was on that DVD, which was basically that and a trailer, those things are both on the new that are coming up. I will say that much. So you can take that old DVD and chuck it because you're not going to need it for anything.
Let's see here from Pizal. Will there be a Fright Night 2? Friday Night Part 2 Blu-ray.
That's in the same kind of situation with Trick or Treat. It's just there's a couple people who need to kind of be involved in that, and it's a long story on Fright Night 2. But I would say we're closer now than we have been in the past. But that one's in sort of a permanent holding pattern as well. Sadly, I'd love to see that work out.
There's a lot of those that were well, I don't know about a lot, but there's a few that Artisan I think did back in the day that are not.
The rights have just kind of reverted back to a couple of different parties, and it's a mess. I've done a lot of research on Fright Night Part 2, and it's just been one of those ones where you reach a point where it's just like someone's going to have to get up off their ass and do something about it that's actually involved with the rights to the movie, and getting them to do it has just been very difficult. So that's the deal with that one.
I think he died.
No, my laptop was about to go dead. I had to plug it in.
Oh God! Like he's the one in control of the question. So if that had gone bad, he'd passed out.
Well, it's funny because I looked down for a second. I looked back up and you were gone. I'm like, oh shit!
I'm back. I'm back, man.
Hello. Hello.
I don't know if this one is going to work out too well, but Hellraiser Bloodline Special Edition with all the cut footage, the 4-hour cut of Hellraiser Bloodline.
I would love to see that one happen, because that would be a fun experiment. And I think all the footage still exists. It's just sitting in a vault somewhere, but it would take a lot of money and time to reconstruct all that. And then also, I would want the original director Kevin Yeager to be involved in that, and I don't know how close to any kind of a final version he had before that movie was sort of reconstructed and reshot. So that would be interesting too, but that would be a very long process and a very costly one. So I don't know if that could really happen feasibly, but I would love to see it happen.
One that I'm kind of surprised that it didn't come out yet is because that one was remastered in 4K just a couple of years ago, is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Is that one that we may be seeing here in the next little bit, or
the original film?
The original, yes.
Oh yeah, I think there's an Ultra HD somewhere in the world for that right
it's
now.
There's a German and Italian 4K.
Oh, yeah. That would be up to Darkside Films, I think, to do here in the UK if that were to, or here in the US if that were to happen. So I don't know. I haven't heard it. I don't think there's anything more to do for that extras wise at this point. I mean, there's just
no. I mean that transfer was just so amazing. I can only imagine.
Oh, it was gorgeous. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be an Ultra HD at some point. I don't know anything about it.
I doubt we'll see this, by the way. Wet movie. Yeah. 4K box set of Dead Pit on the Road.
You might get a 1K box set. There might be a K box set.
Well, we did start shooting in HD on maybe the last season, so we could do that on Blu-ray maybe.
Yeah, man, you get to see what the Riverfield 10 looks like in 4K.
Just you should dummy up like an image of it based on the Dawn of the Dead box, like the Dead Pit on the Road, and get Second Sight to release that in the UK only, just to piss people off.
I think the box set would be my Chevy Malibu with us sitting in it.
Yeah.
That's what it would look like.
Sure, yeah, let's do it. I'll spearhead I want a Dead Pit on the Road 4K box set with director's cuts on all episodes.
Commentary.
Commentaries over the commentary.
Oh yeah.
You know, though, YouTube, like I was kind of, because I've just gotten back into this stuff in the last little bit, and there was a lot of those reviews that were taken down because we had the trailers in the middle. Right?
Oh yeah.
So YouTube has something now where you can actually remove that stuff on the video that's on YouTube. So I've been trying. We have the Halloween review back up. It's the first time in many years. I'm just amazed at that technology, like that you can do that now.
I don't remember which one it was or what the context was, but I just remember there was this one bit where I'm Rob Zombie, get the hell out of my way. I love that. Because there was a period where you guys were ragging on him so bad. It was just like that he was your whipping boy there for quite a while. And
I don't know why we started doing that, but like
Eli Roth and Rob Zombie, those two.
Yeah, there was a period where like we did a skit of him ordering at like a McDonald's. And it was like, give me some pancakes. Yeah.
Well, there was something. Did we do one where he was in a urinal or something like that?
Oh,
he was pissing or whatever.
It's brutal.
Yeah, there was that too. Yeah.
So that was remember you guys beat the shit out of him on a regular basis. That was funny.
He's never gotten any better at directing films either. I don't know if you noticed, but
I haven't seen
Rob Zombie. I think he's gotten like way worse actually. Well, from what I've been told, I haven't seen 3 from Hell. So
yeah, I haven't seen 3 from Hell yet either. So
let's see here. We'll get a couple more ones in.
No.
Yeah. Uncle Bill likes to torture himself, and when you give him recommendations on shit that's good, he won't fucking watch it.
I've got to know.
No, I want to watch the new Overbought movie.
Have you seen either one of those movies that he's constantly wanting me to watch? Midsummer or Hereditary.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, I've seen those.
Thoughts?
You haven't watched them yet?
No, never seen either one of them.
I really like them, but it's with those movies, it's hard to recommend because I don't know. Some people are going to be really into that, or they're not going to. It's not going to be on their wavelength whatsoever, and I can't predict who that's going to be because they're very specifically.
They're slow. They're slow build too.
Yeah, so I mean, you may love them or you may hate them, but you should definitely give them a try.
Yeah, just put your kids to make sure they're in bed.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're not.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it together. This is a family film.
Yeah, especially one particular scene in Hereditary that they do not want to see.
Yeah. Although it certainly may keep your kids behaving in the car. I say that much. But aside from that, it's.
I gotta watch these now.
No, you should. You really should.
Well, I've been telling you. Jeez, you gonna watch fucking the newest Rob Zombie movie that everybody says sucks. Roland 666 is Scream Factory releasing any more titles in October besides Friday the 13th? The ones they've announced.
Well, Jesus Christ, isn't that enough?
Well, I mean, we got a lot coming out in October. Yeah, I kind of hope. Yeah. I probably will end up getting.
I don't know what else. I'm not privy to any other plans that they may have for October. I don't know. I would be surprised if there was. I mean, that's certainly, I think, enough. But no, I don't know. I don't know for certain if there's anything else they got. I mean, they've certainly got a lot of their titles in the works, but whether they're going to come out in October or not, I don't know.
Something we were talking about before I think you got on here. I don't think you were on here. Like, what is the deal with like a Nightmare on Elm Street box set? Like something like this. Has that ever been?
There's like a Scream Factory treatments on Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's been. I know that's been talked about because those are all over at Warner Brothers. So I mean, they have a relationship with them. I'm sure that could happen. I haven't heard anything about that happening. So if it does happen, it's certainly not something that's imminent. But I know that they've talked about that because how could you not? I mean, that's just a logical thing to do.
And I think that's needed.
Yeah, I'd love
because
to see
the set that's out, the Blu-ray set that's out's really,
it's okay. I mean, it's got
I mean, it came out with there was an amazing DVD when it came out back in like the 90s, the DVD set, but they hasn't really, as far as like crazy features and stuff like that, we haven't gotten any of that really.
The only problem with Elm Street in terms of extras is, again, never sleep again. What more is there to say really about that franchise that Never Sleep Again? But there's new commentaries that could be done. There's certainly new transfers. A lot of those movies that are definitely needed. So I'm sure that there would be plenty of things to do for a box set. But as far as any plans or anything, I've heard absolutely nothing. But I gotta believe that discussion's been had. I mean, how could it not have been?
I would think that's next, and that should be number one on Scream Factory's list right now. I mean, they've done the Halloween set, now Friday the 13th coming up. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I would think that they would have to be the ones that would do that.
Yeah, we need that and a witchcraft set. Witchcraft set that has all the witchcraft movies. Actually, I would put that ahead of Nightmare on Elm Street. Actually,
it'd be $599 if they did it. 4K.
I had another one on here. And maybe you can enlighten me on this, but am I imagining this, or was Alone in the Dark originally announced for Blu-ray release, but never came out or canceled or whatever?
It was okay. They had a DVD of it long time ago, but there's never been a Blu-ray announcement on that. No, I would love to see that one too. I was talking with Jack Shoulder about that. I think at the last Cinema Wasteland, and he'd love to do something for that. But no, there's never been a Blu-ray announcement of that I'm aware of.
That would be a good one. There was a couple that I'd gotten a message about. The Eyes of Fire. That was actually, I think there's a Kentucky filmmaker that did that movie.
Yeah,
that one's
actually,
never been out on.
Yes, the filmmaker for that lives in Kentucky. That one's kind of, because that's been over at Lionsgate. So that one's been one of the ones that's been under discussion for Vestron, certainly. I'd love to see Eyes of Fire come out. So that's another one that's been under discussion.
So Vestron does at least own, Lionsgate owns it. So
yeah, that's one of those titles that's up for that possibly. Yeah.
Not Force with Linda Blair. I have no idea what that is.
That's over at Lionsgate as well. That's one of the titles.
Buddy, is Steve texting you these questions? Because that sounds like Steve questions.
Well, yeah. Is that a woman movie?
Force.
No, I'd love to see Night Force come out. Sure, why not? More 80s action with Linda Blair. You can't have enough of that stuff.
When I hear Not Force, I'm thinking of like that Court TV show back in the day, Not Court.
It's a very different thing.
Yeah.
Very different thing.
Let's see here. Any other questions? Well, there is a Martin release coming out from Second Sight Films.
Yeah, they're still working on that. They've been trying to get some stuff on the transfer resolved for that, but that's still coming up. And I actually will be working on a couple small things for that as well, but I can't really talk about that.
Well, hell. They're all around the UK, man. They can't do anything. They can't even travel right now over here.
Oh, they have ways. They have people. There's actually someone they have that lives in Michigan just to monitor me. So they
knock on your door tomorrow morning. I heard what you said.
You talked about Martin. Oh, damn it! You're gonna die now.
Seriously though, was it Don May Jr. that time that we were talking to, and he gave up something that nobody else was supposed to know?
Oh,
and this is like really early on in the Synapse. Like, I can't remember what it was, but like we were talking to you about it, and you were like, "Oh shit, he already told you that." And I was like, "Yeah, it did."
I can't remember I think I have a vague memory of that, but I don't remember what that was about.
I can't remember what it was now either, but it was hilarious, like the way that all went down.
Yeah,
this would be cool. Children of the Corn box.
A Children of the Corn set would be cool, except for the fact that 90% of the movies blow.
Well, no, what you do, they put like a piece of corn. You could it could be one of those gimmick releases, a big corn cob. And you could pull the discs out of it.
Just ship a free year of corn with every box set or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you did work on the Children of the Corn remake, and that's a highly praised movie from back in.
I wish to God. He'll never ever let that die.
Well, it was a sci-fi original.
I don't know how original it was.
Well, it broke ratings records that night it came out. I heard.
That's nice.
Oh God, I'm back.
Oh, let's see. Real quick here, Alligator. Is that one that made DVD for quite a bit?
Yeah, that one's been tied up with some rights issues, but there might be some movement on that soon. I don't know, but I've been hearing things about that for a couple of years now. But I don't have any No, I don't. No, that was something else. So no, I don't know about Alligator right now. I'd love to see that one happen. I just wish Robert Forster. I wish Robert Forster were still around.
That'd be a good one for sure. It's a fun movie.
Oh, it's a terrific movie. It's a lot of fun.
Garrett, GPS coaching, run with Patrick Dempsey and Kelly Preston. Kelly Preston actually just recently passed away too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know about that one. That one's a Hollywood Pictures movie. That's a Buena Vista title. But yeah.
Another quick one on here, Fade to Black. That's one that Anchor Bay came out with years ago, I think.
Yeah, that's been subject of a rights and an elements issue for a while now, so I don't know what's going on with that one.
Yeah, that's
and He Knows You're Alone, I think, is over at Warner Brothers, so that would be, and that one would be kind of cool because that was one of Tom Hanks's earliest performances was in He Knows You're Alone. I'm sure he'd do an interview for that one.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's not doing anything right now. Would be the time to do it, even if you could do it on Skype.
That's true. Yeah.
He's not really. He's already caught it one time. He's not going to risk it again. So.
Right. Yeah.
What the hell would you ask Tom Hanks anyway? It'd be like that Saturday Night Live skit with Chris Farley, where he was like interviewing people.
So you were.
It was like, well, before or after I did Bosom Buddies. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. Well, I believe that's going to. Anybody has anything else real quick here? We've been on here for quite a while, but we will definitely have to do this again. I think that we're kind of back for at least a little while.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to see it. You guys have been off having. Don't you both have grandkids now? I think at this point.
I almost do. I should.
I got a brood.
I was going through some old photos and there was some photos of us at one of the conventions, and that feels like a million years ago. It's just like, remember that one show in Kentucky where it was a fright night and they held it in that fucking place that was a million goddamn degrees?
Yeah, I'll never forget that as long as I live.
That was bad.
Remember
That was the one that Roger Corman was there, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They had him in the air conditioned room, though.
Yeah, we moved over to the Sleep Inn, I think is what it was, or the Park Inn or something like that, because the hotel that the convention center was attached to was a shithole beyond belief, and everyone moved over there, and then they didn't have air conditioning in the fucking convention center. They just had these big fans, which all they did was just blow steaming hot air in your face. So it was not fresh air either. I would break out into a sweat walking in to go to Synapse's table, and it's just like, it was. That was miserable.
You know that nothing adds to the ambiance of a convention like no air conditioning.
Oh man, that place smells so bad. The convention
thing, man, that's going to be. I mean, with everything going on, like, evidently, Days of the Dead's doing a damn show this weekend. I have no idea how that's going to work.
What?
Yeah,
Indianapolis, I think they're doing it.
Right. Almost everybody canceled except for like Tony Moran and Warrington Gillette and like people like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good idea to do. They should cancel that. But like as far as like Horror Hound and all those shows we used to do, like I don't know when that's going to be back to normal. You know, it's probably going to be at least another year or so.
It won't be for a while. Yeah, it's sad, but it's it's just the way things are right now. It's just unfortunate. It sucks because I've missed seeing a lot of people and staring at these four walls after a while. It's just like I'd like to see somebody, just at some point. But it's we're doing what we have to do to stay safe. So.
Well, that's what I was telling Sarah. I was like, this is probably the worst year in the history of the United States, and we're living it, I mean, with all that's going on. So you kind of got to say we're fortunate, to be able to work from home and do stuff. And
yeah, I mean, we've been under the weather, but it's one of those situations where I think we'd all feel a lot better if we just saw an end date. If we knew that by a certain date, okay, we can get back to this is fine. But we don't know. We're just all sitting here like, hopefully at some point. But if we all knew that by December 1st, everything will be fine, I think we'd be better off.
Oh, yeah.
But luckily, in the middle of all this, we have the kind of leadership that will guide us through such as a national pandemic because, you need that. And we have it.
I feel that 100. Yeah.
Not at all. Is there a rambling, incoherent child in charge of this pandemic?
No, our leadership has been top notch and it has trickled down from the top to us, and we are good.
Nothing wrong here. Move along.
Nope, nothing wrong here.
Looky loose.
It's all. That's as political as we can get here. Because
I don't think it's at the point where you shouldn't really have to even say anything. I mean, just turn the news on.
I know, or don't turn the news on, as the case may be.
Yeah,
but
right. I'll try not to. So.
But listen, guys. I'm glad to see that you guys are back. I think this is great. You guys have been gone too long. I've missed having you guys. I mean, I'm a big fan of Room Org Radio, so I'm glad you're back. And
thank you, Mike.
Son of a bitch. I forgot about that until you brought it up. Being at the fucking Rondo Awards, that little God.
Oh yeah, that's right. You now that you're back, you'll requalify for losing another Rondo Award. That's great. I mean, that's
the Rondo Awards. Well, COVID will probably put an end to that. They won't be at Rondo Awards next year. So,
thank God, we'll just lose it via online. That's great.
Yeah,
they do the online version.
You've expedited the losing process. That's good. That's a really good way to do it. That's awesome. So I forgot how much fun I had ribbing you guys about that. I'm looking forward to doing it.
Well, I think after we quit doing the show, we were still on the ballot somehow.
You were for a while.
That's
I don't
great.
know if they really pay close attention to that anyway. So
Yeah, so that was nice. It was like DEADPIT.com.
may
Those
take another
guys
3 or
died
4
5
years,
ago.
and we'll quit doing the show again, and then we'll be back on there. So.
Yeah, exactly. Then they'll take you off. It's like, oh, no, I never fucking know. But I remember they would always list you as like they would always list like the podcast and then like a little brief description after that. And then like yours was like DEADPIT.com, hillbilly horror from Kentucky. I was like, shit.
I mean, that kind of sums it up. Yeah.
I guess, yeah, to some degree, but it's just like, damn, why don't you just say inbred sister fucking half-wits that come from fucking like, wow.
I would have wrote that. That would have been amazing.
I was like, damn, that's harsh. I was like, oh, they work in the mines. Fuck them. And it's just like, just like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, so no. But I'm glad that I was able to come back on tonight, guys, and it's good to see you guys back up.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do this again. It's always fun, and hopefully it won't be another 4.5 years, and we'll get you back on and talk about some more stuff.
Oh, definitely. Later on in the summer, I'll have definitely some more stuff to talk about for sure. So let's make sure to do this again.
Sure.
All right.
We'll
Just
definitely do it.
Quick.
What now?
I'll wait on it. A scoop.
Oh, yeah. Do I have a scoop I can give you? No.
Oh, shit. Well, we'll get a scoop next time. Promise us a scoop of some sort. And we know it can't be Screen Factor.
I absolutely promise you a scoop for next time.
Okay. Well, we kind of got a scoop. He didn't deny that the feature-length documentary for the Tales from Darkside movie was,
That's totally going to happen.
Yeah. So we'll send that out. That'll be part of the press release for the show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But your buddy Cliff will cut you out. He'll send you a message. Motherfucker, you.
Yeah, yeah. And if something comes out that you don't like from Screen Factor, you'll just offer to put it back in a box and shit in the box and mail it to them.
Hey, remember when we were getting shit from Screen Factory? And then we did all that shit.
They did not like that. They did not like that at all.
Yeah.
But we did. We're in their good graces. We did give them one of our interviews for the Silent Night, Deadly Night DVD back in the day, or the Blu-ray. So all's good now. Maybe we can get it back on the screener list.
I got an email from someone at Screen Factor. Like, who is this guy who's going to say he's going to shit in a box and mail it to us? And I'm like, oh, that sounds like something Wes would do. It's like, yeah.
You got to be honest, though. That was not a good PR move on their part, asking people to send those sets back in the day.
It was also not a good fucking PR move on your part. It got us cut off from Screen Factory, you son of a bitch.
I agree with you on some degree on the way that was handled, but then you upped the ante by like, well, if they thought that was a bad PR move, here's a really bad PR move.
As he always said, we don't burn bridges.
I go shit in a box and mail it to him.
I would feel bad if somebody actually did that. I got to be honest.
I got to be honest with you. I laughed so hard when I saw you put that in. Don't go shit in a box and mail it to him. I was laughing. And at the same time, I'm trying to be sympathetic to Scream. It was just like, yeah, you're right. That was a horrible thing to say, but it's so funny.
I just love the idea that there's like a meeting about this where somebody's like, hey, these guys toast, they're going to shit in a box.
Yeah, you always picture like a big conference table. It's like, who's this guy who said he was going to, quote, shit in a box and mail it to us? Don't anybody open your mail for the next 6 months. Especially boxes from Kentucky. Don't open any boxes from Kentucky.
That's the best part of this show is that there's people like that are like corporate types that have had to deal with something to do with us at some point. Oh God. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, guys, and I will talk to you.
Yeah, everybody. Thanks for everybody checking it out, and we'll have to do it again soon.
Absolutely, and don't shit in a box and mail it to anybody.
Yeah,
it's a fair.
At least not during the COVID thing. That would be.
That would be bad. That's Yeah, that's the reason not to do it because of COVID. Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be a great idea. But
I mean, yeah,
we'll worry
more
about
shit
this
is
more.
regular around here.
yeah.
Then I'll send a box of
All right,
shit to the White House.
Bye.
See ya.
Well, have a good one.
You too.
Oh God, I gotta